There we go.
I've got two beautiful women here with me today at Jenny's Rules episode. I don't even know, Darrow.
I know.
What's the number?
23.
We have a recent one.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, it's always a number.
Okay.
Go ahead and introduce your guys.
Oh, I am Shelley Rudolph. I'm with KW Real Estate in Lewiston. And this is my daughter.
And I'm Sandi Snyder, and I'm with PRS in Spokane, Washington.
We're happy that we're not wearing the headphones.
I know, right? I know. It's a little, I was telling Darrow, I don't have my earrings in. Normally I don't have them in
Because then it,
yeah. So now I feel a little naked. But thank you guys so much for coming here.
Sure.
And this mother-daughter duo is even more, having it run in the family. I'll start with you, Shelley.
Okay.
How long have you been in the industry?
Oh my gosh. This is going on my 36th year. I began my career in real estate before I had children. And this one was my child that complained about my job the most. So when she went into real estate, I thought it was hysterical because she was the one that didn't like my job.
You thought you'd be far from it.
Oh, and I was in such denial about it. Like, no, that was not what I was going to
They had to spend their life being quiet. When I got a phone call
Yeah.
In
they
the
had
car.
Yeah.
to be in the car. I was always late going on
Yeah.
vacation.
Yeah.
Her first vacation that she took after she became a real estate agent, she called me. She goes, I get it. Everybody wants to buy a house when you're going to leave.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's
I mean, it's like,
warm.
if you're slow, plan a vacation.
I always feel like it's like a wave. Like there'll be nothing, nothing, nothing. And then all of a sudden, 5 people want to talk
Yeah.
to you. Like, oh,
And it's when you're going to have company over or you're going out of town.
really?
Yeah.
For sure.
How long have you been in then?
So I've been in 10 years. So
Has it
2014.
been 10?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I was 21.
That's so crazy.
Yeah, 'cause the year I moved to Spokane from Coeur d'Alene because I went to college there for a couple years.
Right.
And I came to Spokane and I was working at a little barber shop. And I was like trying to take aptitude tests and be like, what should I do with my life? And everything said sales and real estate and da 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 da. And I was like, Mom,
It's a sign.
like I'm going to try it for a year.
And I really wanted her to come down and work for me.
Yeah.
But I also said, you're not going to mess with my business. So if you come down and you work for me, here's what it is.
And I said, listen, honey, I can do it by myself.
And she said,
And you did it.
And I've
and
done
she said, I want to make my own path. I want to be successful on my own. I don't want to follow in your footsteps.
I'm following in your footsteps.
Yeah,
I'm just
but
not.
But on your own path. Yeah.
a different market. you
Yeah.
know.
Oh, gosh. A whole completely different market.
So that's been exciting.
It's been cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How
But she was so young when she got in the business, and I was
You were 20.
22.
Oh.
And when I got in the business, I was the youngest real estate agent in the Valley for probably 4 years.
Wow.
And it was primarily men back then. We didn't even have fax machines.
I'm sure.
You had to drive your
Her
contracts.
dad didn't think she was smart enough.
Yeah, when I told my dad
No way.
I wanted to go into real estate, he says, "Oh, honey,
Yeah.
there's a lot of math in
Yeah.
that. I don't think you're smart enough."
Yeah.
And my dad.
Oh, number one cheerleader after
I'm
that. Like,
sure.
I
Oh.
thought, I'll show you how smart I am.
See, listen, the apple does not fall
Yeah,
far
exactly.
from the
Challenge-
tree.
Challenge
Same
accepted.
thing.
Yeah.
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 So, but interest rates were like at 14.5% when I started selling. So we
Right.
went down to 10%. We thought we were going to sell the world. And Sandy's dad and I, when we bought our first house, it was a first time home buyer program. We got it at 8.75%. We walked out of that title company high-fiving like we just stole it from the bank. I mean, we just.
Do you remember the price? Do you remember the price?
31,000.
oh.
You can't even buy a damn car for that.
Yeah.
No.
No.
And it was
My
our-
purse that I want
I know.
is 31.
It was just this cute little 2-bedroom, 1-bath starter home that we,
Wow.
we just loved it. And then we moved to our next house when we had Sandy. And
The Bengal Field House.
Yeah. but it was so funny because 8.75, now we would die if
Oh,
things were.
Now they
I know.
nearly got there.
Oh, it was in the 8s for
Yeah. Oh, it was. Yeah.
smidgen.
Yeah.
A smidgen.
So when Sandy said she wanted to get into real estate, I'm like, oh, honey, it's a tough road when you're so young. And
Yeah.
but she knew she wanted to do it, and she got focused. And I had told her, I said, attach yourself to the number one agent in your office. If she needs a cup of coffee, you just follow her and shadow her, and that's how you'll learn the
Absorb
best.
everything.
That's how I met my mentor.
Yeah.
In Spokane.
No way. Oh,
A
wow.
lot of phone calls.
Home to my number one mentor.
I'm sure.
But my mentor in Spokane was one of the top producing agents in the Windermere office that I worked at. And her name is Marie Pence. Now she's like one of my best friends.
Yeah,
But
love Marie.
she's so good. And she took me under her wing. But at first I go, I heard that you're like one of the top producers here, and I think you needed an assistant. And she was like, I'm not ready for one. And I was like, well, just give me a couple tasks, and then like we'll see how this
Know
goes.
her.
Yeah. And then she goes, okay, you're hired. And
So you started as an assistant.
yeah,
Got it.
yeah. And I mean, she was like juggling like 75 to 100 deals a year. So it was like literally learning from the big dogs. And she had young kids. And so like the hustle and bustle of it all, like I didn't even know if I was cut out for it. And then after working for her, I was like, I'm really not cut out for it. But I just learned so much.
You adapt.
Yeah. I was almost with her. I want to say I was with her for like 2 years.
Yeah, I think it was
I can't really.
As an assistant.
Yeah.
Then you got your license.
No, I was already licensed.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Got it. You got it while
Yeah.
you were with
And I was
her.
still like working on my own business at the same time that I was working for her. But yeah, then I went solely on my own for the next 6 years. Yeah. And then I hired my own assistant.
Yeah.
For the last
And now she's licensed too.
She just got licensed.
Ah, that's
Yeah.
so cool. So now you're a team. Is that how you're?
Yeah, we're partners.
Love it. Love it. And you, I mean, you've
Yeah.
been with partners in all sorts of
We,
different realms.
I was on my own for probably 21 years. A little bit of a control freak. Didn't really want to release anybody to trust and whatnot.
Sure.
And my niece, Jen Schubert, was the principal out at Lapway. And she was getting out of teaching or getting out of being the principal and whatnot, kind of staying home with her kids, but needed some part-time work. And I said, well, come and work for me for just a little bit. So she started just as a part-time assistant, and she's phenomenal. And then she got her license, and
And she's so organized.
oh,
Listen,
And
the foundation now
right.
phenomenal.
Well, it was crazy because you're a control freak, but her office would be like a bomb
bomb.
went off.
a bomb.
Like she has
but
no.
I knew where
You
things-
knew where everything was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She has no organization whatsoever. So like it would
Only
just
you that
Yeah.
understood the system.
Honey.
little organization.
To be honest, no.
Not much.
No, but you did know where everything was.
But
You
I've
had a
highlighted-
system.
Yeah.
But then Jen came in and
Oh,
she whipped
Cleaned
you
up.
into shape.
Cleaned up.
well, she has like a photographic memory.
It's
So,
crazy.
I mean, you tell her something,
Yeah.
and she just gets it.
Lucky.
So we've been a team. I think this is going on. I almost think 10 years now, isn't it?
Yes, because well,
Well, close.
it was like
because
2
it
years
was-
after I got in. She's right. Maybe
So she started out as my assistant, then she got licensed, and then we became business partners, and then we developed the Rudolph group, and it's just her and I.
Just you and her, yeah. And you guys are at KW and
Yes.
all that. And with her foundation, do you help with any of that?
I do. I like to volunteer. I'm not hugely active in it, but I get to participate in the fun things
In
that
the
I want to do.
events.
And I mean, it's just taken off. I'm so incredibly proud.
Absolutely.
I haven't gotten to go to any of them yet,
haven't
but I'm really looking
either.
forward to them.
The 100
And
women.
in the office,
Oh.
their office, the facility, and how they've helped. I mean, they've helped like 95 women already,
It's insane.
and they have barely been
Yeah.
in it. I don't even think it's been a year.
It
No.
hasn't been a year.
Mhm.
No.
So I mean, it's just it
That's
definitely was
phenomenal.
recalling, and I was a little bit worried because I was like, "Are you going to have time to still do real estate?" And she's like, "Oh, of course, I'm still going to do real estate."
And she's just juggling everything so good.
She's always juggled so much.
Ugh, I wanted to be at the 100 Women That Care.
Oh,
And they're on Thursdays. And
Yeah.
I do game night at the brewery here in town on Thursdays. So I haven't been able to go to any of those. Do you have anything like that in Spokane where?
That's impressive. I like that. It's
Yeah?
cool.
Game nights?
No. Like,
Oh, like of course we've got trivia at every bar.
we have the like 100 Women That Care or like things that are
Well,
for their groups and.
Well, I with the lender that I use up in like we just got done with this in Spokane, she sponsors all of us to do like the women's build at Habitat for Humanity.
Oh.
And we did that last week and we got to refinish like old house for this little gal. She's a single mom and she has like 5 kids. And the years before, like it's all been like new construction, which it's fun and it's like it's a good cause and whatnot. But like redoing the old house and like they're flipping it, and Kayla and I did all like we were like cutting and installing subfloor. Like
Wow.
yeah,
Wow.
but we do that
Of
every.
course, you are quite a DIY.
I'm a DIY.
You have the vision.
Yes.
Is that, I feel like I'm not one to have a vision. I have to have ideas from something else.
Yeah.
What do you pull? Like, is it all in your head, like when you get, or do you pull the ideas?
I will be honest,
people?
like, especially when I got into real estate and when I was younger, like I had no interest in like going in and looking at people's houses or like,
plan.
you know how people get into the business because they go, I just like to look at houses. And I'm like, I don't like that. Like I actually had to look.
Be so fun. You get to look at all these houses.
No, I
And
just,
it's like, you should see the ones that we have to step over dog
exactly.
in order to show.
And like,
Or there's somebody sleeping in a bedroom that you walk in on.
yeah.
Yeah.
Not by any means
But
clever.
even like even like the nicer houses that I would look at, I just didn't have any interest in that. I've developed that since. I think you have to if you stay in this business. It's like has to be a little bit more of like your passion, and so I've gotten that. But in the beginning, it was not like that. But so I'm a huge Pinterester, and like I've redone. My husband and I have remodeled like our whole main floor. And
Well, plus you did it your first house.
oh yeah, like we technically flipped our first house.
Yeah.
And we built like a paver patio, and we did the floors and just all the cutesy little things.
Yeah.
And I love decorating now, but
It's an eye.
yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, with it being like if you sold someone a lot, do you coordinate with contractors and all that kind of in the gate for
Normally,
them, or how does that work?
yeah. So if it's like a construction loan, you'll usually close on the loan, and then the builder comes in and does his thing. I don't usually like. I'll coordinate like the septic guy and like the electrical guy and this guy and the builder and whatnot, but I don't usually get involved in any of the like architectural plans.
Got it.
Unless my clients are like, "What kind of tile do you like?" And then I'm like,
Yeah.
"Yeah."
Especially when they're planning on flipping the house or whatnot. I like to make sure that they stay neutral and
Yeah.
don't customize it too much.
Mhm.
My famous line is, if somebody says, we've designed this floor plan ourselves, and you think to yourself, and you shouldn't.
Yeah.
That's why we have architects.
no.
That's why we
Her
have
famous
design.
line. She's got
You know.
18,000 famous lines. So we can just wait.
We're gonna hear a bunch.
We did it ourselves. I always say, do it yourself, but it better not look like you did it yourself.
That
Because when you can tell that you did it yourself, oh, honey, you shouldn't have.
That's why I don't mean to speak ill of the dead, but the man that built our house, a phenomenal couple, amazing, and they did great work. But we ripped out our front steps, and it was a hole into our basement. Our contractor fell through it.
No.
Yeah, and I'm like, should you have built your own house? You were a pilot. Like, ugh.
Oh, we see some crazy stuff.
I'm
Yeah.
sure
Yeah.
you have over the years.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Do you have a memorable, like one that sticks out?
When you locked yourself out.
Oh, God, yes. That was classic.
I mean,
That was classic. It was wintertime, and I was showing a house to some people. And it was funny because later on, like probably 8 years later, he became a real estate agent.
Oh,
And I said, I must have made it look so easy. And he said, I got to get into this. So
can't be that hard.
showing houses in the wintertime. And I mean, it is snowing and blowing. It's like right before Christmas. And it's a 2-story house. And the lady the owner said, now, if I see your car here, I won't come back. So I said, oh, okay, well, we'll be probably a half hour, 45 minutes. So we go upstairs, and there's a balcony. So we all step out, and the wife is the last to come out, and she shuts the door.
sliding
And no, it was just a
a
regular
door.
Like a French.
And I said, oh, I sure hope that it was locked.
And they got stuck out
We
there.
got stuck. The seller's not coming back. We didn't have cell phones. I mean, I had a bag phone that was in my car, those old beastly bag phones. And so my buyer had to shimmy down the drain pipe to a backyard that had an angry dog to make friends with the angry dog to come around and let us, come back up. the
Oh,
stairs.
no.
Yeah, that was pretty memorable.
Did they buy that house?
No, we did
No, they
Dang
didn't.
it.
They did not. And
All because of that door.
Like,
Yeah, memory. Yeah.
I don't think I sold him anything. I think he became a real estate agent 8 years later.
He's like, I'll do this.
I got this.
I'll do
I'll
this.
make
Never
sure the
mind.
door's
We're not-
unlocked.
Not going with her.
Yeah.
So now I have a phobia of that. I always
I'm sure checking everything.
get locked out anywhere.
Me too.
Oh,
But I can break into anything too. I mean,
Yeah,
that's a
that's
skill.
a talent.
You know, you
All you need is a credit card.
Yeah, bobby pin.
Yeah.
gotta get back in. My husband's like, that's a skill you probably shouldn't promote.
I know when I break into my clients' houses, I'm like, I feel like a criminal, but I needed to do this. Otherwise, we have to climb through windows, which I've had to do.
Yeah.
before.
Have you? Oh,
She used to
gosh.
make me do it. Ew.
Because you were little and small and
Smaller.
could fit.
Yeah.
Do this. Let me come here.
Yeah. Honey, I got to come on an appointment with me.
Oh, and they would love to go on appointments when they were little and it was a vacant house. They would run through that house like nobody's business.
Oh, I'm sure.
Oh, and when she was like showing friends and family houses, like we would go all the time. You didn't take us as teenagers that often, but
No, I didn't like
Hmm.
his teenagers.
well, we also had our
Would
own
you have
cars.
gone?
Probably.
Would you? Yeah.
I probably would have been like, oh, my hair.
exactly.
So, since watching your mom, what is something that you've maybe taken into your business from her?
Oh, I have become her. Like she's a quirky gal.
A mirror.
But this is the thing. Like when I was a teenager, I was like, I'm nothing like my mom. Like she's funny and quirky and like I never say any like because people say that they grow up and they're like a lot like their parents.
Yes.
Now I like say the same things that she says, and I'm like, what?
You see it.
Yeah, I literally am like becoming her.
Wait till
And-
you say the line I always say to them, because somebody will say, "Oh, where did you get your red hair?" And you know,
Oh, it's a constant reminder of how bright mine used to be.
that's my can line.
Literally all the time.
Or like making fun of
Yeah,
me.
Whitney and I. Yeah.
It does.
But yeah, I think because like real estate, like it's a stressful job, but I think when you can like make it an experience for your clients that like you can look back on that time and be like, that was actually fun. And like as hard as she works, she also like likes to just make it an enjoyable experience.
Absolutely.
And I think that's the difference of like, there's a lot of agents out there that just like stress and like bring the drama to the forefront of things, which I think our job is to keep the drama behind the scenes and keep it like moving for our clients. Cause everybody has a horror story when it comes to real estate.
Oh,
yes.
It's bad.
Oh, yes.
And it is one of those things that's uncontrollable. Like you have a whole nother party on the other side that you have a professional that you're trying to work with, which hopefully you're working as a team, but it doesn't always work out that way. And then you have like buyers and sellers on opposite sides that sometimes can't get along.
Yeah.
And it's like, sometimes you can't help but,
right.
you know, it
happens.
a little bit of a toxic
Yeah.
situation.
Yeah.
But if you can help it and you can make it like fun and an experience and it's like your first house and like we're gonna have fun about this and it's not gonna be the end of the world. She always tells me nobody's gonna die.
He's gonna die.
He's going to
Yeah.
die.
Well,
I mean, they can.
some people die and then we sell their houses.
So true. Percentage wise, I mean, this would probably be a good question for you. How many have you had that are like fully vacant? Like, is that prime opportunity to have it where it's vacant?
You know, vacant houses are easy to sell because they're easy to show. I always say that if I'm showing houses to somebody that's brand new in the market, I'll show them the vacant ones first. I'll show them the call first, then lockbox. And then those ones that want appointment only or 24 hours, I might get to you, but I'm probably going to sell them something before I get there. So I will try to tell my sellers if there's any way that we can shorten that down to like maybe a 2-hour notice. I think that makes a difference because the easier and the more accessible you can make it for those agents to show your house, the more traffic you're going to
For
have.
sure.
The reason why I don't like my clients living in their houses is like family photos. I always have them take those down because being in Spokane, it's like you don't know who's walking through here. I mean, even here, you still don't know, but
Yeah.
it's like there's just so many creeps out there. Or I just am like, you're literally having strangers come here. I don't know their agents, I don't know their clients. And like you're literally letting them walk around your house like for 30 to 45 minutes. So
Right.
it's just a creepy feeling kind of. But that's the
And
only reason why I don't like it. But in Spokane,
Oh, I'm sure.
I can't do I can only show you vacant because when we're showing houses and somebody doesn't have a specific area, I can be in the car for 4 hours.
Right.
Like it is crazy. Yeah.
And it scared me to have her be in Spokane because
It should.
it's the it's the biggest city next to us. So I think we hear about all their crime.
Yeah.
But there was a horrific accident with a real estate agent up there.
I heard that.
She showed a house that she thought it was a doctor. And, you hear
Yep.
somebody that calls and says, I'm a doctor, I'm coming into town. So, of course, we say, they say jump, we say how high. And she was almost left for dead. Thank
Mhm.
God she didn't die.
Yeah.
But-
I know.
So, Sandy's very careful, very
Cautious.
Well, and I always have my assistant with me, Kayla. She's
Good.
always with me.
Good.
I
knows where she's at.
Yeah.
Or like if I've been referred to someone, and like back when I was by myself, I would just tell my husband where I would be and then tell him to call me. And if I don't answer, call 911 and send him to this address. And then I would put my phone on silent and I would be perfectly fine. And he would be like, oh, one time he was at work and he was like, I'm on the other line with 911.
Oh,
No. Well, that's good though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but that was like our fire addendum thing that we would do. Like our office would call us also, and they would be like, "Hey, do you need the fire addendum?" And we would say yes, and then they would send 911, or we'd say no, we're good, but can you check on it again? And then they'd call you back in 15 more minutes if you weren't sure.
Yeah.
That's usually like the way I went about it in the beginning, like when I was by myself and like doing open houses by myself. And I did have a little stalker that came to. Like he would see my open houses in the paper and he would come to all of my open houses and he would come through the house and not look at the house and just be really creepy to me. And then I would just leave. Like it was just creepy, but yeah.
Too.
Well, but now you don't. You she's with you, Kayla's.
Exactly. Yeah. And if not, then we just do the like, I'll be here. Go call in if I don't answer.
Yeah.
And, my husband has my location.
Oh, good.
'Cause I'm like,
on all the time.
yeah, just check it out.
Yeah.
Find me,
please. Yeah.
With Spokane being so huge, like how far have you gone? Like out?
Yeah, so I go like all the way to the Idaho border. Like I've gone up to like Cusick, Ione, Newport,
Really?
Davenport, like literally everywhere.
Yeah.
And it all just kind of depends. Like I sold this like tiny little cabin in Cusick, like my first year of real estate that was terrifying. And it was like $90,000. And like when we went up there were like gunshots and stuff. And yeah, it was.
The
It was
buyers are like,
terrifying.
this feels like home.
Yeah. Actually, the buyer was remote.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
And I was like, dude, it's not even running water. Like I don't, yeah. So anyways, those ones I was a little bit more desperate for in the beginning. So now if like I have a legit client that like, I know that like needs to see something far away, I'll do that.
Then you're good.
Yeah.
And you're only in Idaho?
I'm only in Washington. Yeah. But I was licensed in Idaho before I was licensed in Washington, but I let my Idaho license expire because I just wasn't over there enough.
Right.
That's a big.
I know.
territory.
Even though it doesn't, like if you look on the map, I mean, it's.
I do want to get over there just because I send so many referrals. But in order for me to go over there, I'm going to really need to do my research of the market over there. And right now, I just don't feel confident. And like, because it's easy for me, like in the Spokane MLS, like I can do research and figure something out within 20 minutes. I don't feel that way about Idaho, but I could learn and I would learn if I expanded that way.
Yeah. Comparisons and all that.
Yeah. For now, I refer them out to the professionals over there.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you've seen every floor plan that has ever been built in this small town.
Much, maybe once or twice in the same house.
Yeah.
What's weird is to go into the houses that I've lived in.
Oh,
That I've
yeah.
that my parents owned. To have that, it's like, oh, why'd they paint over that? That was adorable.
My maroon wall.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. It's funny things like that.
Oh, that is funny. Is there something that you kind of heckle at Sandy about business stuff always?
Ooh, like what?
Oh, I want to know.
I probably heckle her more.
Oh, I want to know that.
And when she does, she calls me honey.
Oh, honey.
And I'm like,
Soft
I
and
am-
simple.
You
I
do
am
what?
mom. Yeah. Well, and it's funny because, I'm an old dog. I mean, I started selling before
Look at her.
fax machines.
Right.
We had a book
old
that we
dog.
carried. We didn't have email. We didn't, I mean,
Mm-mm.
all of that has just transformed.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you have to kind of go with the times. But this one, she'll be like, oh, mom, you're not using this, you're not using that.
Wow.
So I feel like she's brought me more current. to
Yeah.
things that I'm like, I'm using that now.
The mentee teaches the mentor.
Yes.
Do you remember when like online, like
Oh, we all thought we were going to die.
Oh,
When email came out, we're like, we're going to have to not call people. We're going to have to check our email. We just were all like,
how
we're
do you
not
get the notification?
And then when they got rid of the MLS book, which it made no sense to have the book because the minute it was printed, it was outdated.
yeah.
Mhm.
So you'd
Everything
have to call
changed.
the agent to
All the
find out if the
time.
house was available anyway because your book's outdated.
Yeah.
But when they got rid of that book, oh, there was a bunch of us old timers that were like, we
Bless
fucked up.
You're lost.
And now I just think about how silly and
Oh,
ridiculous.
gosh.
it is.
Explain what the book is if
The book
people
was
don't know.
MLS compiled of everybody's listing, and it was. I mean, it was like a Bible. We carried it.
Like
like a
all of
Bible.
Idaho?
All of Idaho. Well, Lewiston and Clarkston.
Okay. I
Yeah.
was like, what if it had Boise and like
Oh,
Yeah.
ugh.
Now we're in the IMLS, which would be Boise and everything. So
Mhm.
too big, but I can get online on our MLS and I can check and see what's available in Boise.
yeah.
But back in the day, it was just Lewiston and Clarkston and Asotin and,
Yeah.
and the little surrounding areas. Orfino was kind of a different breed of cat for a while, but they joined the.
They're good now. And
But yeah, you used to have to call separate.
you just having social media, you've learned through it.
Yeah,
You know
yeah.
it.
Oh, well, and I remember being like super young in sales meetings. When I say super young, I was like 24. And in sales meetings, like the old dogs at my old brokerage would be like, why are we changing these lock boxes or this platform? We went from DocuSign to transaction desk and everybody was just,
And she told me, she goes, don't be one of those.
yeah,
it up.
like
Be one
it
of
up.
those.
also like real estate is an industry that's so far behind technology that when they introduce new technology, it's like embrace it because it's only going to get worse.
Yeah.
Like everyone thought Zillow was going to steal our jobs.
Oh,
Th-
yeah.
No,
No,
it's not
it's
a
a
thing.
resource now.
You still want a professional. Like
Yes.
they thought that like, yeah. So anyways, I just was always like, technology's a thing. And I'm not really good at technology. I like,
Yes, you are.
no, I'm not.
Well,
very
compared to me, you are.
no, I got an iPhone like 4 years ago, and because it tethered better with like our
System.
like lock boxes and stuff
Yeah.
in Spokane. So, but like Kayla does all that techie stuff for me because I'm like
Jen does most of my
Yeah.
techie stuff.
Yeah.
well, and she's a YouTube queen, and I'm like I have OCD and ADHD, so I don't really like to sit there and watch a YouTube video.
Right?
Yeah.
Don't have the
And
patience.
don't
for
send
that.
me
Yeah.
too long of an email because you'll lose me.
I won't read it.
Same.
Yeah, that's why.
Shorten that down a little bit. The meat and potatoes.
Right.
Yeah, like on Instagram, I'm like, don't put words on the thing because nobody's gonna read them because I don't.
Yeah.
I don't read the
You don't-
picture where
I don't, you won't.
the quotes. Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't read those
I
unless
try to be all like, oh, look at this cute emoji. No one cares.
no,
one
nobody cares.
No,
They'll read the first line and go bye.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
Mhm.
Instant gratification.
Mhm.
But some of the technology and the posting and all that kind of stuff, I think, is going a little much.
Yeah.
I
Mm.
mean, it's like, okay, are we selling houses or what are we doing?
Constant, you know.
I mean, and it's okay. I guess it's not my cup of tea, but it's like, oh,
Well, you're talking about like lifestyle bloggers,
I
like
guess.
like
that
everyday
also happen to
daily
be
life.
agents.
Yeah.
I don't
So
care.
it's
that
two
you're eating a
separate-
muffin.
a muffin.
I don't care that you're eating a muffin.
I was a
You know.
mutton.
A muffin. I don't care that you're eating a muffin.
What does that mean, Shelley?
No.
No, but I mean, I just
Yeah.
don't care that you're eating a muffin.
Well, that's your
That-
generation.
Or that
though.
you're going to vacuum.
I love seeing other people's vacuums.
You get going and vacuum if you need to vacuum. I don't need to see
I love it.
I love it.
It's your generation, babe.
Oh, Lord.
It kind of motivates me if I see someone like
So
totally
you
cleaning.
Yeah.
You want to watch me clean my house?
Not you.
People will pay to watch you. There's some places I don't know. It's-
Or like
That
eating
sounds
healthy or
yeah.
Mom, it's like a lifestyle thing. Like
Uh-huh.
people
Oh, you know those people that restock their refrigerator?
love
It's only their hands.
obsessed.
Obsessed.
Now I do like recipes, and I'm
Yeah.
sourdough.
She's on TikTok like nobody's business. So you just imagine no TikTok, then that's the generation you're not a part of. That's what you're talking crap about right now.
Well,
No, I know.
I mean, I'm not going to post that I'm eating a muffin, and I don't really care that somebody else. is
Shelley,
eating a
when's the
muffin.
last time you ate a muffin? Why are we talking about a muffin? Oh my gosh.
We're gonna lose her. And we're back.
Yes.
You got a full beer now.
I do.
What
I
it,
don't mess around.
something that I, have kind of dabbled in. It's a very vague question, but what is like the most memorable thing or most favorite thing about real estate?
I think the best thing about real estate is that it's different every day and that you get to be the person that is involved in pivotal times in people's lives. Like whether it's getting married, having a baby, to a bigger house, whether it's divorcing, that's not a very fun one, but it's much needed to be there. to
New
help them.
adventure.
If
Totally.
it's downsizing, if it's the loss of your parents, you get to be there for all sorts of different transitions, which I think is just phenomenal. And I think that's probably the passion that keeps me loving real estate even 35 years later. So,
Do you have?
Yeah, kind of like piggybacking off of that is,
Yeah.
I think in our career, like I grew up in the lifestyle with my mom, so I think it was easier for me to like take that on. But it really is like a part of our lives. Like when we're dealing with like a fire, it's kind of just like, oh, there's an issue, we're gonna like fix that. Like she's like the craziest problem solver. She fixes everybody's problems. Like in high school, my friends would call her and be like, Shelley, help us out. Do you remember when I was on lunch and one of my girlfriends took her car and accidentally hit another car, and she goes, oh my gosh, what am I gonna do? My parents are gonna kill me. And I was like, let me call Shell. She's gonna fix it. And I called her, and the guy comes to the window like to talk to us, and I go, we're waiting for our realtor. And I don't remember how it ended, but needless to say, she handled
like,
it.
waiting for a real.
What is that?
Yeah, like, what do you need a realtor for? Like, you're an attorney. But like, we're problem solvers.
Come in, manage the situation.
Yeah,
Yes,
which I
yes.
thought that I had that in me.
Emotions down.
Yes.
I never thought I had that part in me, but sure enough, I do.
Yeah.
Control the scene.
But it's like it just feels like life. Like we're just like
You're
transactions are a
feeling
part of
everything.
our lives because our clients kind of become part of our lives, and some of them we know, some of them we don't want them to. Some of them are like, oh, that was rough.
Yeah.
But we've gotten to a point in our careers that we can kind of pick and choose who we want to work with, which is great.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then it's
Well, I have referred clients to Sandy.
and I've referred
Yeah.
clients to mom.
And what's funny is that they'll call me and they'll be like, oh my God, it's like working with you. And I'm like, see.
Yeah, thank goodness. That was scary. But yeah, and then it is just like going through sad times with families, and because it is like
one's
it's so having to deal with like an estate situation where like a family lost their parents is so hard. Like I've cried so many times, but I also in my adult years I cry a lot more than I used to. Right?
You do.
I think it's ever since Millie came around. The national anthem, forget about it. Don't even don't.
Or if the children are performing a dance.
Don't.
one,
I can't.
she can't
I'll
do
cry.
that.
When I see them enjoying life, I cry. When I watch any Disney movies, I cry. Like, I just can't.
Yeah.
I can't. I cry. But I try to like embrace that
Emotion.
sense. Because I'm kind of hard sometimes.
You
Well, I don't know.
softening up.
She thinks she is.
I like to be a little
Personality.
soft. Only for my family. Like, try to hurt my feelings because it won't work. Except for if you're Whitney Barnes.
Older sister.
Our mother.
Yes.
Our mom. She can hurt my feelings really good.
Oh gosh.
But yeah, so we just get to be, parts of our clients' lives in cool and not cool times.
Yeah. With how many people you have in your like realm of who you've worked with over the years, do you have a number
Oh,
or an idea?
I don't really have a number.
I don't even think
That
I
would be
could.
wild.
I
to
have
know.
like
I know.
Right?
We should.
Do
Jenny
you
sh-
know?
No, I don't. I have no
my
idea.
husband has a fit that I have 35,000 emails in my email.
Unread?
He has a fit.
Unread?
No, they're red.
Oh, good.
They're red. They're
Are
just
you one of those
35,000.
that like leaves things
Oh.
unread?
And I have lots of times in a day, if it's a busy day, you usually text like 40 different people in a day.
Oh yeah, it's wild.
Oh yeah.
My busiest year, we sold 102 houses in a year. That was when the market was on fire.
Wow.
Last year was miserable. This year's great.
Oh, I know the feeling.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
yes.
This year's way
Last
better.
year
way
was the
better.
best year of my.
I know. She kicked it. She was doing
Crazy.
great. Yeah, like, seriously, I might need a loan. I mean, I'm like, am I going to have to get another job? I felt like I was out of the
I
business for a
know.
minute.
No,
But-
it was because my first full year with Kayla, and it was like doubling. It was like doubling my time. Like she took on so much for me, and it just blew up. Yeah, it was great. It was awesome. And I didn't feel like I worked that much.
That's even better.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Keep it like,
She's a lifesaver.
oh, good.
Yeah.
When it comes to the market, comparing what we have down here to what you have up there, do you guys talk about that? And like, you're probably like dumbfounded, and you're probably dumbfounded.
Well, like
It's amazing sometimes how they'll be cheaper on a few things, but they'll be way out of range on other things. And I'm like, wow.
but like appraisers, like our field of appraisers is completely different. Like inspectors, it's a completely different game. Timelines, just the way that like agents work with agents is completely different. They're more of like handshaky, and we're more like, we work with a lot of agents that we've just never met before because there's so many of them. And we work with a lot of agents that do one deal a year. So it's kind of hard in that aspect. Yeah. But we have a really cool circle of like really professional people up there too.
Oh, good.
And I've been so lucky. Like my circle in Spokane is insane. Like the women that I like get to be around in the business are awesome. Like so successful, not really necessarily successful, but just like good at what they do.
Yeah.
And we all like, you know, when you want to be
times better.
Yeah, you kind of want to be like the dumbest person in the room so that you can like absorb everything. That's what I try to do. Like my friends are in their like 40s, 50s, and 60s because I just want to
Real estate's a funny thing because you can never really feel like you're successful.
never.
Because the minute your deal closes, you're starting over.
Yeah.
Yep.
Every day that you wake up that you don't have an appointment, you're unemployed.
Yeah.
So every day is a job interview. I mean, once in a while, I will say, especially if I have to do an open house, I'll say, oh, I've got to muster up a personality. Sometimes you just don't want to be on. But in this business, you have to find it and be there and be engaging. And people don't care what you know. They want to know that you care.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the whole bottom line.
Yeah.
If you come into it and you're not caring to somebody, they're going to find somebody else that's going to give them more of their time. And I've lost clients because I have been too busy or whatnot. And it stings because you do want to be.
Yeah.
Well, that like my least favorite part about real estate, I know you didn't ask me, but I'm going to tell you.
No, tell me.
We call it our funks.
Yeah.
But like seasonal depression, it happens.
Yeah.
And like when you literally don't even want to get out of bed, but you're like navigating people through this process and they want it to be like cool and fun and you're supposed to be like up and like, it's like, it's so hard.
Get out of that funk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel that. Oh, I
Get
feel
out
that.
of
We try to pull each other out as quick as possible, but sometimes it just is kind of hard. And it's like, oh my gosh. And then it tags on to like when you're not motivated, it gives you anxiety. And then you just go into that tailspin of like, oh my gosh, I have so much to do. Because we like to just stay on top of stuff just because our clients like it when we do that too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then when you don't, then you're having anxiety attacks and it just gets worse and worse.
So much better. I always say,
What's up?
you have some people that'll have things go right to their voicemail. Just answer the call because if you don't answer the call, then you got to call back.
Yeah.
So just do it. Just take the call. I mean,
Ghosting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I always try to like respond as quick as I can and take the calls unless I'm like in another meeting, I won't.
For sure.
But if I'm sitting there and I want to so bad, sometimes not answer the phone.
I know.
But
I call my drive time from my house to the office I call it my lack of procrastination time. And I try to, whatever phone call I have to get out of the way out of the day, I try to do on that car ride so that by the time I get out at the office, I'm done with the negative phone calls.
yeah, well, and those are mostly like calling like contractors and like well people or like,
Or to tell somebody that their house didn't appraise. I mean,
or that they're offered to get accepted.
I know that.
Or that the buyer just
I'm calling them and telling you this news. And I hate those.
painful.
It is painful.
Yeah. I had some people that lost $28,000 on an appraisal, and it was an out-of-town appraiser. So then it comes into that whole realm of our appraisers in this valley aren't that busy. Why are we going out of town?
Right.
because they're cheaper, probably.
No,
They're probably
With us, we have to put out like so many.
Yeah.
And whoever grabs it
Oh,
gets it.
Okay.
And so I don't know.
I think thing too. I liked it back in the old days where I could pick my appraiser.
Yeah.
I could just say, I want this.
Before
That,
2008.
yeah, right?
Oh yeah, it was a whole different breed of cat.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
and you understood why, but you also understood that whole predatory lending thing. I mean, I can remember going to a closing where the loan officer was like floating people money, and I'm like, I'm not going to be a part of this, so I'm going to step out because it's not worth my real estate license to be involved in this.
But
And then 2008 came, and then all of a sudden it is black and white. There's no
Oh, no
yeah,
budget.
no gray.
that's also another thing I think is kind of crazy is like the ethics of it all. You could do such bad stuff.
Oh, yeah.
In
Oh,
our,
yeah.
I will even,
Simple.
it will be like a simple little initial that like my little old man client would totally give me his blessing to do it for him. And I will be like, I can't do it. I can't.
Yeah.
Like it's not worth it.
Not at all.
No, and that's like you've taught me that is
Yeah.
like the ethics of it.
Don't
Like
you
be
Speaking of my test, the ethics part. You know, they try to trick you or whatever.
Right.
I got the lowest score in the ethics because I think ethically, I'm like, I think I'm an ethical person, but
Yeah.
apparently on this test, it's like, nope. And it's just they try to trick you.
it's what there's two answers that are right, but what's more right
Yes.
is how they
Yeah.
how they
How
screw
they
it
do
up.
it.
Yeah.
Yes. And I just remember hearing stories of like, oh well, my lender would give me a referral thing. I was
Like a kickback. Yeah.
Not a
No, I don't want to know. I can't do
Well,
that.
and there were all sorts of that thing happening before 2008.
Tell me
Title-
what you know.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
The title companies could take you on trips. The lenders could take you. I mean, I went to concerts and I mean, all sorts of
They
stuff.
can't even cater a broker.
Yeah,
though.
no. If I do a
No.
giveaway basket, I have to show receipts with
Like
even amount.
$25.
I've split
Yeah.
this even
Yeah.
to the cent.
Yeah.
I mean, and it makes sense that they tightened up some of that stuff for sure. But when Sandy first got into the business, I said, here's the thing about if you lose your credibility with your ethics, you'll never get it back. So don't you ever compromise that. That has to be the foundation of what you're going to build your business on.
100%.
She's just, I mean, I'm so proud.
Thanks, honey.
So proud.
I know.
Don't tempt
How am
us.
I not crying?
Don't tempt us.
Just don't start singing the national anthem.
I also
Because I am patriotic.
and I also cry at robot movies. Anything with a robot.
Wait, did you just say that you cry at the national anthem?
I cry at the national anthem. No matter hockey
Thank you.
game, at
Oh.
at NAIA,
And it's like,
Yeah.
God bless
the
America.
high note,
Yeah,
Oh,
even if
right.
it's not that good.
Fergie's, whatever
Ooh.
back in the whichever one.
I probably would have cried if I was in person.
Oh, I know, I would. I would.
Yeah.
I probably
Robot
wouldn't have gotten
movies.
it that it was that bad.
Any robot movie, and I'm like, I know robots don't have souls,
Yeah.
nothing, but I'm just so.
Oh gosh. Yeah.
They turn it back on, and then they're not the same robot. Oh god.
Oh my gosh. Break my heart.
I'm also.
I don't think I've ever heard of that.
Oh yeah.
We were at like a kid's birthday party with Millie and she was little and all the princesses came out. I thought I knew which princesses were coming and then Moana came out and she was a surprise. I lost it.
Oh, she did.
And
It
Whitney,
was
my
so cute.
sister was like,
She's going,
"Oh,
what's happening with
are you
sis?"
crying?" And I'm like, "Oh my gosh, Moana's here. Millie, get her." Millie's like, "Stop."
Oh, and
Oh.
we were in.
Is Millie now?
She's 8.
Oh my god.
Eight.
Yeah.
Honestly, it breaks my heart to even think that.
I know.
But she's so cool.
We've gone to Disneyland a couple of times. Well, you've only been
Oh,
one time.
yeah, whatever.
But I'm telling you, Disneyland with the little kids was a trip. We were crying every time we turned around.
Every time.
You know, the princesses would come up and Sandy be like,
But we were dressed as the fairy
Oh.
godmothers of
oh, yeah.
Aurora.
And I did not want to. be.
No, but people would stop us for pictures.
They
And
thought-
Nana,
They thought we were part of them.
yeah, our Nana, Gigi, was Maleficent, and Lucy was the dragon, and Millie was Aurora.
Yeah.
And it was
Then we were
bomb.
the fairies.
And we were the
Jason
three.
was the prince.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
And so the one that didn't want to do this got stuck making the costumes.
Well, you volunteered for that. You always do that.
And the
You're
capes.
so
and-
good at it.
Oh, it was so
It
bomb.
was hysterical.
Oh,
People were like, "Can we get your picture?"
But I will never do Disneyland at Halloween again.
No, it was
Ew.
wild.
too much.
Well, not with little kids like that, because
It was just too much. There's people dressed up too weird.
they do look kind of
I
scary.
mean, we were dressed nice.
Yeah,
To
yeah.
fit with the flow of Disney.
Nice.
Fit with the flow.
Yeah, there were like some scary guys. Yeah.
Too much.
Care for it.
Yeah.
When it comes to vacations,
Yes.
is having a team just like ultimately the way to do?
You know,
How would you do that on your own?
well, I'll tell you, I did not take a full week's vacation
Ever.
for 20 years.
Go.
I could go away for 4 days, and I would have people that would cover my business and whatnot, but you feel bad. And then when Jen was my assistant, I had gotten a trip with my sister-in-law to go to Germany for 10 days.
Oh yeah.
And I would have never been able to go to Germany without having Jen
Mhm.
because she
Yeah.
held down the fort. It was awesome. So yeah, I mean, vacations are
Well,
a trip, but
Kayla and I went to Cabo together for her wedding. And I was just like, ooh. But I actually did really well in the beginning. And I would leave my phone in the room. And because I didn't have any active buyers at the time. And if they were going to reach out to me, it was going to take a couple days anyways.
Anyway, yeah.
So, well, I did have active buyers, but they were already under contract. But yeah, so I just was trying to avoid the new calls and then just would call people back in the morning. And
I liked it that, we shouldn't have to apologize for taking a vacation. I mean, if anybody deserves a vacation.
you should apologize if you pick up that phone when you've been drinking.
Yeah. True. Yeah.
So that's why we don't answer the phone.
Well, this week is spring break.
Oh,
And I had a client that I was calling, and my daughter is in my lap with a hairbrush. Brush my hair, brush
Oh,
my
yeah.
hair. And I'm like, I'm so
Hi,
sorry.
yeah.
It's spring
Well,
break
but
right
it's
now.
also life.
That's yeah.
It's life.
That is what
Life.
one of the things that I've learned about, like, because you know how many like interviews you have with people, like it never ends because we get hired by so many different people, so interviews never end.
Yes.
And it's like, just talk to them like they're people. Like that, I think that's the thing that like gets me out of my head. And it can be a very intimidating person, but they've also have like life experience, so you have to have something to connect to.
Yeah.
And so it's like, just talk to them like they're people, and then usually they'll like respect that.
Yeah.
And also, I think it's pretty well known that we all know what we're doing. And so it's like, I never am the one that's like, oh, yeah, I'm going to tell you what I think it is. Like, if I don't know something, I'm just
Question.
going to go find out.
Yeah.
Like, I'll say, oh, I actually don't know. Like, I'm like not the type of person that's going to like pretend like I know something when I don't.
Gosh, no, I can't. If someone asks me something, I bug my coworkers and my higher ups so much because I'm like, is this okay? Is this
As you
okay? Is this
should.
okay?
Yeah.
Is this what I can do? And things change. The laws change
100%.
all of the time.
Yeah.
I just realized we had a client call that wanted to refinance, but he had only owned like for 3 months the
Oh.
property, and you have to have it seasoned for a certain amount.
Right.
Literally this month, Fannie Mae just changed the law
Oh.
to 12 months.
Wow.
And Freddie did. And so I'm telling this guy, I'm like, listen, we could wait another 3 months and see, with Freddie Mac. But if Fannie Mae is going to do it, so is Freddie. And I don't want you to get to that 6 month and then expect it to, what if it did change?
Yeah.
I'm going to be like, I don't want to say that this is what's going to happen.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
Change.
It's a lot of pressure. Like, it's a lot of responsibility.
Yeah.
Like when you fib and you don't know, it's like just
go
ask
it'll
someone.
Own it.
back.
Yeah. Own it. Own up to it.
Yeah, make a note of what that question was and come back.
It's now a sticky note on
Yeah.
my main wall.
Yeah.
Fannie and Freddie.
Yeah. I know I always tell Kayla that, like, do not just
No.
but she's very, very like, Sandy.
Is she too?
Yeah.
That's me.
Yeah.
And I'm sure, with all the laws in 2008 and everything changing, with the new stuff that has been changing with Washington,
Mhm.
what is stuff that you're having to I know, I'm sure contracts and everything, the way that you guys explain it to your clients, is that changing now? Or
Are you talking about commissions?
yeah.
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 Oh, that will be.
Well, I think Washington's
It hasn't.
gotten ahead of it, right? So like we've introduced forms that are going to help us protect that. But I also think it's just like when you are explained a purchase and sale contract, like as a buyer, it used to be like the wording like, oh, you don't have to pay for me. I'm free to you. And in fact, you're not free. The seller is paying for you, and there's, a price adjustment because of that. And so I think that with that, it's like, there's no reason for you. Like, I don't think it's going to make a big difference to me because I charge what I charge. And if I don't want to do the job at a certain percentage, I'm not going to do that job. They're not going to hire me. And that's never going to change. Like, that's how it is right now. So it's like, if I'm like going out for a listing and I say, how much do you want to sell, or how much do you want to pay the buyer's broker? And it's like, that's on you. It's how much exposure do you want to have? Like, there's a lot of the times that buyers agents work harder than sellers agents. And if you don't want to compensate them, that's your own doing.
Well, and I just got burned. I'll say burned. I sold a house in Moscow, which I don't usually go to Moscow, but it was a client that I'd worked with for a long time. And he's like, I'm sure you can show this to me. Well, you don't look at a commission before you write up the contract. And it was a 1%.
Well, a lot of agents do look at commissions and then don't send them to their clients because
so
that's what they're trying to get
that clear into the contract. And I see that it's a 1% commission. And I'm like, oh, what do you do?
Yeah.
Wanted the house.
But that's what it's going to be, though, because we're not going to even be able to tell people what the cooperating brokerage commission is. I heard that you're going to be able to. We'll see how that plays out.
Yeah.
Because it's not settled yet.
Yeah.
It's not. And there's going to be roundabout ways to go about it because it's not going to kill our industries just like Zillow didn't.
Right.
Like,
just they might say that the buyer's going to have to pay that broker's fee, but it'll be padded into the offer, just like closing costs.
okay, yeah.
Something's going to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you feel like, with other states implementing this, others will follow?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And that's
I think
how I see
the
it.
National Association of Realtors tries to put some sort of a blanket type thing that we all will,
It's bigger than Washington State. Washington State is just the first one.
I know that.
Yeah, right?
Let's just do it.
Yeah, it's not a good look. But yeah, and it's also, I also think like the core of everything that's like the frustration of a seller paying for a buyer's agent is sometimes when you do get a bulldog on the other side that just works and works and works like against the seller, it's frustrating to be like, you're paying that person to be disrespectful and not professional. And that's where it's like just professionalism on the other side would be helpful.
Well, and agency was so different when I first started because you represented whoever you were being paid by. Well, it didn't make any sense because I might not be representing that. I might not even know the seller, but I'm saying I'm representing the seller because I'm being paid by them.
What? That's
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
weird.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Years ago.
How times have
Right.
changed.
Oh, sure.
Very much.
Wrinkles to show it.
You
Wisdom.
know it.
You know it.
To show it.
That's another thing I see all the time.
Yeah. I've never heard that one.
I was born today.
Oh my God. Please, Mirkit.
You guys are hilarious. I can't hold a straight face.
Yeah.
Keep smiling.
We usually try to do our cackles and
all that.
make things funny instead of so
So
serious.
I miss you.
I know, I miss you.
How often do you come down?
Not near enough.
I should
I
do
know.
that.
I know.
And we've been looking for some sort of a place in Spokane because when they have babies, I gotta be
Gotta
up
be
there.
close.
Yeah.
I said I'll buy a motorhome.
I try to come down. I try to come down and be here for like the girls and Beckham and everything.
Yeah.
But it's really hard like to get away. And honestly, sometimes I get anxiety being here.
You're gonna run into someone you know.
Yeah, because like in Spokane, it's like I know if I do run into somebody that I know, it's like very far and few between. How do you say that?
Far and few between.
Far and few between.
Yeah.
If I'm here, I'll expect to see like everybody that I know and their dog, and then I don't see anyone, and then I'm like, look at that. See?
He wasn't that bad.
I don't know anyone, but yeah, I try to come down as much. But we do get each of the kids in the summertime. We get them each for a week or like a weekend solo. So I
I'm
love
sure
that.
they love.
I make them come up. I make them go to cattails.
Damn.
I love cattails.
Oh,
Well, I love animals.
Have you been to Cat?
oh yeah, I remember when they
You
had
have?
the bear. Wasn't there
The bear that grew up in the bathtub?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there still a bear?
There are 2 bears. Oh,
I haven't been in a while.
Do cattails for a birthday. I said I've done cattails, and I'm not.
I
going back.
love it.
I mean, I don't have anything against it. I'm just not. I don't.
I took the girls, well, and Beckham.
Yeah, that come on.
There for the tigers, the Siberian tigers' 16th birthdays. There's 3 of them.
Was gripping.
Do you know all their names?
Not really.
Okay.
I know like Too Good because that's
She's the contributor.
we donate our our expired meat.
Oh, nice.
Actually, I never
Don't
have.
them good. We're gonna.
I never have. Whitney has, and I said, Whitney, Bessie, my best friend in Spokane, she donated, and I'm taking that as I donated. I have not done it.
You took it.
No, I didn't.
Oh,
She
you
took it. I just contribute by going there as often as I can.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do.
Yeah.
And I'm a one and done.
I'm a liar.
No,
I'm like,
that's
okay,
enough.
great.
No, I was like, you're going back.
I'm going to Fred Meyer. I'm not going to go to.
Oh,
Lucy and I-
know.
yeah.
Fred Meyer, we don't have that. No.
Fred Meyer's wild.
Poor little town.
Oh,
That's a good question. Like when you get maybe out of town people that have just never been here, never been to Spokane, you get a little bit more of that. Oh, we have shopping, we have this, we have mountains super close. We do too, but how do you kind of spruce up the talk
So
of the
the
town?
high school's helped. The Lewiston High School has helped because I used to do a lot of the new recruitment that came in for Clearwater paper back when it
Got
was
it.
Potlatch.
Mm-hmm.
And the high school was a killer because you'd be working with people that were coming from bigger cities and they're like,
you see the high school we went to high school and go, oh,
but I can sell this community because I was born and raised here, raised my children here, know that it's safe. It's, got a
Inskirts,
clean
outskirts.
to it. It's also a melting pot of every different kind of religion. There's not just one certain type. So for me, it's pretty easy to sell the community because if they're looking for more of a metropolitan place, this isn't going to be for them.
Yeah.
So who can't shop on Amazon? I mean,
Yeah.
if we don't have it locally, which I promote local first for sure, but
It's
we have been. I mean, some of my wardrobes coming from Costco.
Oh,
I mean,
love Costco.
Yeah,
yeah, I love Costco too. It's quality
I mean,
stuff.
It is.
what else do you have to shop? I mean, you've got just Maurice's is good.
Well, yeah,
Old Navy.
Old Navy.
but
That was it.
being the city girl that I am now,
Yes, the city.
The city.
I struggle though because when I first moved to Spokane, I lived on the South Hill, and then I lived in Brown's Addition. And so like those areas are like quite congested. And I like the north side. Like I'm a north sider through and through because my husband grew up out there. We live out there. It's just like
It's nice.
it's a good vibe. It reminds me of Lewiston because
Yeah.
it's like a small town. And like we live by his best friend's golf course, and like we just have this really cool group of friends that just like everyone golfs together, and then we go out to eat, and then like we have just it's a blast.
You've now do you consider that now your
Home.
town? Yeah.
Yeah,
Home.
I will
It's her.
I will always live there. Yeah, which is actually like at first I was like, I'll be here for 6 months. And then I met my husband. And then I was like, okay, well, maybe I'll talk him into moving after like 5 years. And then
She would never be happy down here though. And somebody said, well, when you retire, which real estate agents don't retire, we drop dead in the business. But somebody said, when you
drop dead.
retire,
Would you ever like let it go?
I would. I don't think I would.
Yeah.
Because I love it. I mean, I don't want to work with the people I don't want to work with, but I still am passionate about what I want to do. But somebody said, when you retire, will Sandy come down and take over your business? And I said, Sandy's got a great business in Spokane. She would no more think about that. I mean, it's a great life up
Not
there.
even a blink. Yeah.
we like it.
That's good.
And it's just it's nice. Like my husband's the sweetest man, and he's got the sweetest friends, and they take care of us, and like we love him so much. Like he's a gem, and his family's up there, so we're not alone.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, it's
But I'll be back and forth on the
she will be.
This is not too far.
I'm looking into
I mean,
one
it
of
could
those.
be
It's really not bad.
Yeah, not that
I
bad.
could just
But it really cramped Whitney's style when we bought a house 30 minutes north.
because now it's 2.5 hours.
Yeah, now it's such a struggle.
I'm
But you
sorry.
have a river.
Oh, the river.
I love seeing your pictures
Oh,
of the
thank
backyard, and I was just like, oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, that was like a freak accident
Finding
blessing.
your
Thank
And
you.
thank God she didn't listen to her mother because I thought she was crazy.
Yeah.
I'm like, you are too young to buy a house this expensive. You need to
Mom.
be a little bit more conservative.
Yeah, but thank goodness.
God, she did.
My neighbor, Suzette, she is also an agent in Spokane, and she had that house listed, and she made that happen for us. And
Way.
I'm just so thankful for her every day. And like we just had dinner with them the other night, and it's that the neighborhood itself is actually like you have to take a bridge to get to it, and it's right behind the golf course. And it's just like this fun group of gals that we get together for bunko, and it's just
You're secluded in a way.
totally secluded. Yeah.
She's right next.
Oh.
Well, one house from how many acres is that?
It's 100 acres of like hiking trails, and then it goes down into the river. But then we have like a park. It's called Pine River Park.
Yeah, yeah.
But it's like just a cute little quaint neighborhood full of just people from all over the place, but somehow we all get along.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we love it.
It's neat.
It's cool.
When it comes down to buying your own places and, moving and stuff, how do you handle that contracts for those? Or
Well, here's what was funny when my husband and I were looking for our last home that we're in now. We knew that we wanted an apartment for my mom to be in.
Mhm.
Sorry, I'm sorry.
Very specific.
So plugged up. Allergies. Anybody that knows me knows I have them. But I found this house and I said, Ron, I think we need to go look at it. And he's like, do you think we ought to get out there and see what's available?
Wait, but you wrote, yeah.
I said, what do you think? I just go to lunch every day? I know what's available. I'm showing
I'm
you
up to
what
But you
Sure.
represented yourselves, right?
Oh, yeah.
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 I'm showing you what you need to see because I've weeded out the riffraff.
Oh, my
Yeah.
God.
Oh, but it was so funny.
That's
So he
weird.
calls me his real turd. A real turd.
Put that on
Because,
Yeah.
in the house that he bought when we were getting married, he didn't want to buy it. I said, there's some money to be made here. He's like, no, I want to buy this one. I said, nope, there's no money to be made there.
Well, Ryan, I would show him like a bunch of like listings that I would have coming up, and they would have like pools, and it would be a cool area to be in. And he would be like, no, absolutely not. Why would you want this? I'm like, it's so cool. Like he had no vision.
No vision.
And then we actually went to go visit Suzette at a broker's open. We were having lunch, and we were like not even supposed to go there. And then we had like a 30-minute break. So we like ran in there, and Ryan was like, well, let's go talk to our lender. And I was like, no, never.
Wow.
And then we did. And here we are.
Wow.
But yeah, it wasn't even on my radar.
No, it wasn't. And that's what I thought, oh, honey.
I sent it
The
to
conservative
Whitney.
part of me. You know,
I sent it to my sister, and she was like, is mom going to buy that? And I was like, no, I am. Like, what?
What?
For what? You're going to live in that? Like, yeah.
God.
But yeah, it's been such a blessing. It doesn't get old. It honestly doesn't.
I'm sure.
well, and they've done so many cool things to it. I mean, it's just,
Up there in general compared to here.
and she does. She has a big driveway. I can park a motorhome there and help with the babies. Anything.
Look at she's like got the plan
Like,
down.
oh. There's also a La Quinta up the road.
She's gonna put me in the La Quinta.
And now it's a Best Western.
Oh, and the best West.
We got the best Western here.
Yeah.
You do it? Yeah.
Is that the one we
Probably.
stayed for your wedding?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
fun.
didn't like that place anyway.
You didn't? Oh, honey.
This will be maybe a two-for question for you, but I kind of asked like, what is your favorite neighborhood in the valley?
Oh gosh, I'm a Normal Hill girl,
Classic.
born and raised.
Love
on
it.
Normal Hill.
We're downtown girls.
You like the
I
stairs,
love-
the levels.
I love the old charm.
I love that.
I
too.
don't live in the Normal Hill right now, but
But
that's
whenever
where I
you
raised my
show,
girls. Oh,
love it.
yeah. I mean, I love every part of Lewiston and Clarkston because they all have kind of their little niche and what's cool about it. And I learned to really like the orchards when we lived up there. And now that we're in the Clarkston Heights, I'm like, this is awesome.
Right.
But if I had to pick and say what is my favorite, it's Normal Hill.
It's just got more
because-
charm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
The old
Being
school.
born and raised there and then raising my children there, they have a hard time going down the street of the house that they were raised.
Yeah. Well, we loved it.
Oh,
But it came back on the market. They were like, Mom, buy it back. I'm like,
I wanted to buy it. I was like, I'm gonna buy this. I'm like, oh shoot.
did you leave any mementos or anything like?
we have a dead dog in the backyard.
Yeah, Tudor's back there with my baby blanket.
Tudor's back. Tudor.
Yeah, my favorite is obviously like the north side. Like anywhere in the north side
Spokane,
is
yeah.
great. But I also love Audubon, which is close to where Kayla, my assistant, lives. But it reminds me of Normal Hill. Like it's like super like cute, like bungalowy, like old
Yeah.
houses. And I used to live kind of by it, but not in it. But I was like, oh, what one of these older houses in here would be so cool.
Yeah.
And what about down here?
Oh, down here,
I had to pick.
Normal Hill. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, like we used to walk through the cemetery and like think no big deal of it. Like we were like,
That's where they learned how to ride their bikes.
drive stick shift.
No
like,
way.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I used to think God was speaking to us from the LCSC baseball games.
Oh.
It'd be like up to third base or up to bat is number 3.
Is that God
Is that
speaking?
God's
And my dad would be like, yeah, it is. And I'd be like, yeah, it is. And I would see like a headstone that would say like one of our dogs' names. And I'd be like, that's where Duffy's buried. Like,
And they'd always set up vases of the,
Yeah.
The cemetery was never.
but Normal Hill, hands down. I was so mad when we had to move to the orchards. I was so mad.
Yeah.
How old were you?
She was a teenager.
15.
Oh,
She was
yeah.
a brat.
Yeah.
Mm.
I was awful.
Oh.
That's why I'm
God
like,
bless
if anyone
her.
remembers me from high school, I'm a different
If
gal.
I could go back, I would probably
Oh.
give myself a hug and punch her in the face.
You right?
She
Yeah.
needs- she needs both of that. Right
Totally. She does too. Was I your teacher's aide in lifeguarding?
We were both.
Oh,
So
lifeguarding.
No, we were both. Yeah.
we're both. I think though you were my teacher's aide for when I went through it.
Because
And you were 2 years aide,
yeah. Okay.
and then
yeah.
I was an aide with you. The
Yes.
second year.
Okay. Yes. Because I remember
Alex,
having
too.
so much fun with you.
I'll still stand by that. Lifeguarding as a teenager is the best gig you
Oh,
can
yeah.
have.
I
You're out
literally
in
have
the
had,
sun, you get it, and you learn all the life skill. Yeah.
I've had 3 jobs: lifeguarding at the city pool, lifeguarding in Coeur d'Alene, and working at that barbershop
Wow.
before I started real estate. But
What a
yeah.
journey.
I know. I loved lifeguarding though.
I know.
It was so
I was
fun.
swimming. I was the best shape when I swam. Ugh.
Too.
Well,
Ugh.
it teaches the babies how to swim. You know.
See,
Yeah.
my kids. they
Although I'm
don't-
not all that crazy about the dunking when they're little. I'm like, oh,
Oh, I love it.
I can't watch
like,
this.
oh,
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm not
I'm
going to because
my-
I'll punch you.
My kids, I don't know if it's me teaching them. They just have this like, I don't really want to listen to you. But if it's a stranger, they're
Mhm.
totally
They'll do
fine.
it.
Every kid's like that. Yeah. Millie was like that.
So many skills that I could teach them, but yet they just
Yeah.
are like, no, I'd rather listen.
Yeah. I got to dunk Millie when she was like
oh,
way too young. And the pool was cold. And Whitney was like, do it. I was like, I'll do it.
Like, I'm back to the room.
I remember
I can't.
going, I did Whitney's makeup for when she had maternity pictures.
Oh,
with
yeah.
Beckham. And
With Bex?
yeah, the
Oh.
girls were playing and they
Oh.
had he was a puppy at the time.
Oh, Bubba.
The Bubba.
Yes. And oh my
The Bubba.
That's cute.
they kept bringing me dolls and watching my makeup stuff. I was like, these girls are so
They are so.
They're the best.
so cute.
They cannot go up to my bathroom that they don't mess with my makeup.
Oh, they are
Stay out of the makeup. But they
fashionistas.
just have
Totally.
to get a little glitter here and
Yep.
there.
That's
And I'm
all it
like,
is.
I didn't even think I had glitter up there.
Millie drew her eyebrows on when she was little and goes, do I look like Dee Dee? And I'm Dee Dee. And I'm like, I hope not.
They
like,
were
what?
Thick and dark.
Yeah, what?
Oh,
I think mine are a little bit sharper than that.
Oh.
They should
But it'll be interesting to see because Millie will say, you know, my Nana and my aunt sell houses. And I'm like, do you want to sell houses when you're older? I used to say, because years ago I was a hairdresser before I got into real
Oh, I
estate.
did not know.
Yeah.
that.
She was.
I was allergic to everything and had to get out of it.
Yeah. So she should go to the witch
Own
and
hair.
go back.
Yeah. So I told the girls when they were little, I used to say, you can grow up to be anything I want you to be.
Oh.
And
And if-
Whitney's a hairdresser and Sandy's
Look
a
at that.
agent.
Just-
And so I'll push it a little bit on Millie. I'll be
Oh,
like,
I love
you
that.
want to sell houses, Millie, when you get older?
No,
She's like,
give it to
"No."
Lucy, man. She'll kill it.
She probably would. Oh,
Who
yeah.
did go with me on accident to show a house? And she's like, look at this. This is a very large living
Lucy
room.
is so.
Fails, girl.
We say that Lucy and I are twins and Millie and Whitney are twins, but like
It's
Lucy and I,
100%.
it actually like kind of scares
Is
me.
it creepy? Oh my
They-
God.
And our eyes look the same when we do crazy stuff or like when we get mad. And like she's obsessed with animals and like,
Oh my
100%.
God.
very like,
so funny. It's like I almost have my babies back.
oh,
Having
you.
Millie and Lucy is like having Whitney and Sandy back. And I get their names mixed up all the time. I'm constantly calling
I do
Lucy.
that too. I even
She'll go,
throw in the dog.
Lucy.
Yeah. Well,
Ellie.
yeah.
Yeah.
I know. It's really cute. Like, yeah.
Hmm.
Like when our weekends alone with Lucy, her and I do nothing but like do weird stuff. And Ryan's always like the difference between our weekends with Millie and our weekends with Lucy is like night and day.
I'm
We're doing like nails and hair and makeup with Millie, and we're going to see stingrays and tigers with Lucy.
Skydiving.
Yeah.
You know, wild.
I do make Lucy or Millie go do fun stuff like that too.
Yeah. But just their personalities
Mm-hmm.
and how they are. Oh, when it comes to like when my kids, I never want to like know or have this thought of what's it going to be like when they're older. With how things have been going over the years and like with their generation, are you going to teach them ways of how to manage adulthood and all that? Or are you just going to kind of let them do
No.
their own thing?
I think gentle guiding.
Yeah.
Gentle guiding. I let my girls, and not that I'm a great parent, because I certainly was, but you have to let your children make their own mistakes.
And we made plenty of them.
But yet you have to let them know that you still got them in the fold.
No matter what.
And that's probably the hardest thing about a parent. And when your kids start to be adults is to let them fall
Yeah.
Yeah.
because you want to catch them. You know, you want to, and just ask anybody. I'm the mama bear. I mean, Sandy had
Poke.
scarlet fever when she was
Yeah, let's bring that up.
when she was a lifeguard at the Croc Center.
I thought it was heat rash. It was scarlet.
Fever.
And her
my
boss
gosh.
thought she was
Fakey.
faking it.
Thought I was hungover. I don't
He
know.
was hungover and he was giving her, oh no.
Oh, she hustled and bustled in there and just gave him a what for?
Oh,
Because you have a gut feeling. You're like, no, something is wrong.
well, yeah.
I had to go
Yeah.
to the hot. Yeah.
Yeah.
Her kidneys, and yeah, it was starting to shut down. It was
It got a little bad. A
yeah.
little bit.
Scarlet
I know.
fever.
Honestly,
That
I don't know.
left
Well,
her-
it was
that
a,
took
Yeah.
it was strep throat that she did treat. That's how that.
Well, but I didn't know I had strep throat. I didn't even have a sore throat, and it got into my bloodstream, and that's how like my whole body like got in rashes, and my eyes turned yellow, and my hair fell out, and yeah, it was really weird.
So she wouldn't take my call. So
And
I just go
my
up.
tongue was like swollen in my mouth. They call it strawberry tongue. It was awful.
So she wouldn't take my call. So I'm like, I'm going
So
up.
she came on up
And then,
unannounced, and I was like, "Oh, hey, whoops! I would have tried to shower or something."
and I'm like, oh, I mean,
You
her
gotta
eyes
go.
were yellow
Oh
and
my
stuff. We're on the end of the
girl.
Yeah, I know it was scary.
Oh my god.
But I don't know how I'll be with the girls and Beckham when they're older. But I think what's cool right now is like being in charge of their childhood.
She's the it.
The
It's
memories.
so cool though, like that we're in charge of their childhood. Like they're growing up right now, and like we're making their memories right now.
Horror memories too.
So cool.
Oh, Dell, you're gonna make me.
And when
I know.
And then when they see Sandy, they're like, Daddy.
We have like such a connection. It's so cool. I love them so much. I'm not crying. I have something in my eye.
Well, anyway, I probably Dara have taken it up a good chunk of time. Probably.
We're probably pretty good.
Yeah, listen, once you got going. Yeah. Well, I think let's just end it this. You guys, thank you so much,
Well,
Sandy,
thank
Shelley. I
you.
really am. I'm just
Cheers.
to give.
I'm amazed by you. I just have to say.
Awesome.
No, thank you for having us, and thank you for doing this because you are amazing.
Oh,
And
God.
this was so fun.
Oh,
like
good.
we were both nervous about it, but you're killing it.
Good. I wanted to.
We
feel
need
like-
something like this in the valley, and you're the one to do it.
Yes.
Proud of you.
With a good producer over there too.
Yeah, get it.
Cheers. Cheers. Cheers.